Securing a long-term lease on favourable terms can provide significant stability for a new business. Typically, a lease is represented by a written contract between the landlord and the tenant, stipulating the terms of the lease. But what happens if the owner of the land sells the property to a third-party purchaser in circumstances where the purchaser hasn't entered into any contract with the tenant? If the lease enjoys the benefits of indefeasibility, it's not an issue. The lease will be taken to run with the land, and the new owner will be obliged to comply with the terms of the lease, even if it never directly contracts with the tenant. If, however, the lease does not enjoy the benefits of indefeasibility, the purchaser may settle on the land and then immediately give notice to the tenant, requiring the tenant to vacate the property. And that's the case even if the purchaser had knowledge of the existence of the lease prior to purchasing the property. Indefeasibility is a concept which provides that a party's interest in property is not capable of being challenged by third parties, essentially. There are two ways to obtain indefeasibility in respect of a lease. The first is for short leases, being leases with a total term that does not exceed 3 years, including any option periods, are automatically deemed to enjoy the benefits of indefeasibility. The second is that for longer leases, registration of the lease on title to the property will give rise to indefeasibility. So it's always preferable to register your lease if it's possible to do so. There are certain circumstances that may exist which means that it's not possible to register your lease, and in those cases there are other steps that may be taken to provide some level of protection to a tenant with respect to their leasehold interest, but it's always preferable to achieve registration if that's possible. If you're proposing to enter into a lease, or if you're having dispute with respect to your interests in a property as tenant, you should seek legal advice immediately to ensure that your rights are properly protected.